Let's talk about common KPI mistakes that can destroy performance. The goal of establishing key performance indicators is to enhance and improve performance. However, there are certain mistakes that can be made that could make a KPI a destructive tool rather than a building tool. Number one is measuring too many things. KPI is not designed to measure every activity in your organization. It is designed to measure what we call CSFs, critical success factors. There are activities, there are specific things in your organization that determines the success of that organization. That is what your KPI is supposed to be targeted at, not at every activity. So focus your KPIs on your critical success factors. The second mistake you could make when creating your KPI or implementing your KPI is measuring activities instead of results. The goal of KPI is not to measure activities. No, the goal of KPI is to measure the result that emanates from those activities. For example, in sales, we are not looking for how many calls the sales teams have made and how many people they have called. That is not what we are interested in. We are interested in the sales that they have generated from it. This is important because the implementers of the KPI must understand that the KPI is not about completing tasks and it's not about engagement. It is about the result of engagement, the result of calls, the result of campaigns, not about the campaigns themselves. The campaigns themselves are just a means to an end. KPI is concerned about the means that is expected to be achieved. The third is wrong rewarding system. Come with every key performance indicators is reward. So every month in the middle scale and enterprise, you have employee of the month, and that comes with its own perks and bonuses and all that. And so we create a reward system in order to motivate, employees and individuals to achieve their specific KPIs. Wrong reward system completely destroy the entire system. For example, rewarding a customer service officer for fewer complaints rather than complaints resolved, because what employees will then do is to discourage customers from complaining, which will then affect the overall vision of the organization, exactly what KPIs are designed to prevent. So you have to make sure that your rewarding systems are objective and they are solid. The fourth is a point that we have made repeatedly in many of our videos, which is the fact that the essence of setting up KPIs, going extra mile after stating out tasks and responsibilities and activities, and after setting out goals, taking extra work to set KPI is to create clarity. It is not to create confusion. So unclear KPIs will be a very big mistake. You have to make sure that your KPIs are not confusing, that they are smart, that your KPIs are smart. So somebody looking at your KPI knows exactly what is expected to achieve. Another mistake that could destroy your KPI effort is the disenfranchisement of employees. In some organizations, employees are cut off from the measuring process. Everything is done, just within the human resource. It is the human resource that knows the KPI for every role. It is the human resource that does the appraisals and everything. And the employees are not simply aware of what specifically, of how they are being assessed or how they are being appraised. That itself creates a lot of confusion, because how do you expect the person you are asking to achieve a particular result to do so when the person is not carried along in the development and in the communication of the performance system? So So employees must be part and parcel of the performance management system. So even they themselves can appraise themselves. Appraisal should not be left for only the HR department. The HR department has the administrative responsibility to do so, but every employee must be trained and must be taught on how to interpret the KPI as it is related to his or her role, and must be able to also appraise himself. So the employee must know what is measured, how it is measured, and why the result matters. The sixth point is data inaccuracy. Inaccurate data is destructive, it is deceptive, and it doesn't yield to any meaningful results. So the goal is not to get data. The goal is to get accurate data. So both employees and the administrators and implementers of the KPIs must ensure that the figures of the data are not influenced by sentiment or by inducement in any way, because what we are trying to do here, don't forget, is to achieve the vision of the organization. The vision of the organization should surpass every other interest. On a final thought, don't forget that poorly designed KPIs always produces poor performance. If you don't want poor performance, you must make sure that your performance management system is solid and inclusive. Thank you for watching this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.